Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do, what it do, what it do. Without further ado, let's go in, let's talk, let's see. Someone's already talking. Brown do life. Hey, what's good, family? Good to see you once again. We back at it. Something epic tonight. Yeah, as you see with the name on the screen, Doppler radar. Now, of course, y'all know I like to incorporate a lot of things with my name. So that's how I do it here at this channel for those that are new to this channel and you haven't seen me go live yet, right? But let's get off into, as I also usually like to do, I'll talk about the thumbnail, then I'll even explain the person you see on the screen before you. Of course, this is not me. This is actually, let me just go right into it. I'll talk about this individual you see on the screen. Then I'll talk about the thumbnail before I actually go into breaking down this live stream. You know how I do it, y'all, for those that have been following me from day one overall, right? First of all, yeah, the person you see on the screen, he's actually pretty legendary amongst the circuit of Green Lantern. Okay, so this individual, he was like considered a alternate version of Green Lantern. They felt it was important, at least amongst the comic book world. This person is John Stewart. He was like the alternative version of a Green Lantern, not in an alternate universe or nothing like that either. Just his own unique individual of a Green Lantern. And actually his overall design, if you will, was modeled after the great actor Sidney Poitier. So y'all can look that up too. And the reason why they felt there should be a so-called black version of a Green Lantern, even back in those days, they felt that this had nothing to do with viewpoints. It has everything to do with the way the world is. And a majority of the population in this world, yes, I said it. Based on what they said, the majority of the population of this world is melanated. So it only makes sense to make sure that you have a melanated version of what we like to call comic book heroes. So in this case, this is just another version of a Green Lantern. And there is another version of a Spider-Man, if you will. His name is Miles Morales. Look him up. Trying to get y'all to see that I'm going somewhere with this. So is there a difference between radar and Doppler radar? Well, from what I've gathered, I mean, radar itself, you know, like if you just look up the definition of radar, just in itself, it's just like it's like a system that detects like the presence of the direction and distance, speed of an aircraft. Like they use the radar in regards to like even warfare, combat, uh, like for stealth reasons, if you will. But they also use radar for like when you're fishing. They use radar underwater. Okay, they use radar for, you know, obviously airplanes that are landing at the airport. So radar is used in a lot of different ways of detecting incoming objects, whether it's a vehicle or a vermin or a vertebrate. Basically a vehicle or an animal, right? So yeah, so that's the essence of the definition of radar. But you know, Doppler radar isn't necessarily the same as radar. So I'm trying to get y'all up to speed on some things. So uh, Doppler radar is detecting the movement of oncoming weather. So that's really the difference between radar and Doppler radar. Radar itself detects oncoming objects, whether it's a vehicle or an animal, and Doppler radar detects oncoming weather, incoming weather, if you will. So, okay. So, yeah, in the sense of Doppler radar, you know, in the essence of becoming the embodiment, how you have to peep game. You know, I always talk about peep game. And so that's always been part of yours truly's Doppler radar. Did you catch that? Because I say that more than you hear a lot of people talk about. You dig? Can you dig it? Well, over here, I like to say that you catch that because, you know, you got to be up to speed and you got to see what's at speed already. When you up to speed, you should be ahead of what's already at speed. Did you catch that? Yeah. So the thumbnail, getting right into that. Of course, speaking of speed, Flash. Barry Allen, like Barry Allen, because the original speedster, the original Flash Gordon, his name is Barry Allen. So I just changed my name to Barry Allen, right? So all in the same thing because here we are, in essence, like when we really talk about being up to speed, you gotta have that speed force in you. So I'm gonna actually use something else. Hey, y'all get to see me. Hello. um, Flash, the reason why I tied with this thumbnail, like that y'all see on the replay, the Flash Gordon aspect is the reason why I use that is because if you paid attention to all of my different embodiments up to now, up to this trilogy, you'll see how it makes sense because the first aspect of becoming the embodiment, I explained just more or less the journey of becoming such an individual. Then in the sequel, it was more so about um, you seeing that individual that you're trying to become, you know. And now this trilogy is you have finally become that individual. So this is the advanced stages of being the embodiment of how you have become the embodiment. So make sure that you got your popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, soda, and vegan for all those that are vegan. Yeah, get all that out because this is going to really knock some socks off of you, right? It's going to have you running so fast, you're going to run out your socks. So when you finally become the embodiment, you have finally become up to speed on a lot of this stuff. And you know, you might want to tune in. I mean, you want to be entertained. There are other channels for that. I'm trying to enlighten you. I'm trying to show somebody how to become the embodiment. And for those on the replay, check out my first installments prior to this one. In my playlist, The Outermost Realm Talk. Yeah. Without any further ado, let's talk now. Let's go in because I pretty much gave y'all a within 16 minutes of this live stream, gave y'all just the beginning of this trilogy. So let's go right in. So for you fellas, When you're on a high frequency, you cannot be attracted to the feminine. Yes, I said it. Fellas, when you are on a high frequency, you cannot be attracted to the feminine. Now, frequency and vibration. Now, vibration is the measurement of your frequency. See? Keep that in mind as well. But yeah, with that said, when you're on a high frequency, you cannot be attracted to the feminine. She must be attracted to you because she's attracted to your frequency. She's attracted to your vibration. Like she's attracted to all that. She's attracted to the your vibration, aka the measurement of your frequency. She's attracted to that. And there's more about this that I will go into. Maybe I might do a segue speaking on such things, depending on how much time I have for this live stream, because I like to do all this within an hour's time for these live streams, okay? But yeah, she must be attracted to you, fellas. Because if you go about being attracted to her, she'll look at your greatness, but then also think that you're just like the rest. So even with this idea of approaching a gal, you actually want to keep that minimum. It should be to the point of where you're that attracted that she actually approaches you. Once again, when you have such a vibration about yourself, fellas, yeah, when you have that much of a vibration about yourself, she's going to be that much attracted to you. Okay? I'm just saying, like, situational approach is what I normally talk about at this channel, because I don't really think a man needs to cold approach a gal. He don't even need to hot approach a gal. You know, there are all these different types of approaches. I mean, situational approaches where both of y'all actually approach each other, but it should morally be based on just the way she actually, you know, approached you in such a way, or how she just wanted you to have a conversation with her because of just the way your vibration is, aka the measurement of your frequency. Like, she sees that you are vibrating a certain way, the way you carry yourself, the way you go about your way, the way you carry about your day, the way you talk, your mannerisms. And you get better with that at times. Some people like to talk about it from the standpoint of confidence, but I think from someone that's a natural, you don't really see it as confidence. You just see it more or less just part of your self-esteem, which is not the same thing as confidence. And you might fumble a few times, but is it more of you approaching her, or did she approach you? Okay. Let it be more of her approaching you, so that when it's time for you to approach her and talk, she's already comfortable. Like, and that's another conversation in itself. I'll have to talk about that another time, but it's based on the fact that you finally have become the embodiment. So it should be to the point of where she is coming at you in such a way that without any reasonable doubt, she's highly attracted to you, bro. Okay. But yeah, you don't want her to look at you like you're just like the rest. You don't want that, fellas. And think about this. Think about the way that you look amongst the rest of these guys, amongst men, you know, amongst the rest of these guys, how you look amongst them. Like, that should say something in itself if you have more of a pure look than the rest of these guys. If you have a higher frequency, or you have a higher vibration, aka the measurement of that frequency, like you have that much higher than these other guys. You have a higher calibration. Okay. So there's things about that. So think about that. So you want to remain set apart from the rest. Like every day you have to get up thinking like that. Guys be like trying to be competitive. No, you want to be complete. You don't want to compete, because when you're complete, you're already set apart from the rest. You didn't need to compete. The ones that compete never get to rest. Yeah. And if they do rest, I promise you they're not sleeping good at night. Okay. But when you complete, you get to sleep well at night. Now, you probably didn't know that at first because you didn't know how to deal with somebody trying to compete with you because you weren't fully complete then. But now that you know how you are versus how this other person is coming at you, you don't even sweat it no more. You're like, yo, really? So you start to think that way more as you become more of the embodiment. Okay. Especially when it comes to getting a lot of things done. And you can't count on a lot of people. You have to do a lot of this stuff yourself, but you get a lot done yourself, though. Okay. You get a lot done. You outdo yourself, not just outdo others. You outdo yourself because you're so up to speed. You're ahead of yourself. That's a beautiful feeling. I don't know about y'all. Okay. But yeah, hopefully I kind of giving y'all an idea of the difference between frequency and vibration, because there is a difference, obviously. But what do I actually mean by when you're on a high frequency? What do I mean by that? I mean, um, well, it kind of go back to what I said like a few minutes ago about just the way you carry yourself, the way you go about your day, your mannerisms. But like, what does that actually mean? Like, I guess the best way I could put it is, okay, what are a few examples of when you are on a high frequency that results in a high vibration, right? Um, well, you've started to develop certain routines in your life, whether it's working out, whether it's having a better diet, whether it's just finding a way to not talk toxic. Maybe you don't want to use profanity. Maybe you want to learn more words in the dictionary just to increase your vocabulary. And that's not to say you're illiterate, okay? People be saying that, but they've never looked at a dictionary. So yeah, they can miss you with that, just like they can miss me with that. And yeah, some people do miss me too. That's another story. Yeah, but it's things like that. It's you just improving your hygiene, reinventing your wardrobe, making your home cleaner, finding a better home to live in. Not from the standpoint of material things, but just from an environmental reason. You just want to be in a better environment. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. You want to have a better car. What I mean by a better car, I'm not talking about a shiny car, to be bling blow. I'm not talking about that. Okay. Just having a clean car. Clean car means a lot. Okay. Get a clean car, fellas. Okay. That will help you with your vibration and your frequency. Okay. All right. And I'd say this, nothing wrong with the luxury car. If you don't want a luxury car, get a quiet car. Get a car that's well tuned. Okay. There's a lot that is about society and how most society they drive cars with four cylinders. Four cylinders are not harmonically balanced engines. So it's bad vibrations for the ear. Because literally just based on the car that you drive now, of course, you got those that sing songs like I drive a Bentley Bentayga, like I don't love my life. But we're not talking about that. That's a low vibrational individual driving a car that has a higher vibration about it because it has 12 cylinders. But that's here nor there. And I'm not even shooting shots at the rapper that said that. I'm just saying, like, the person that thinks that way, yet you have such a nice car. Like, there's a lot of low vibrational people driving around in nice vehicles. And I hate that. That really gets on my flipping nerves, right? But you can manifest this stuff in your life, right? And you could lead by example. People see how you take good care of your things. If you do get a four-cylinder car, get a car that you barely can hear its four cylinders. Okay. A lot has to be said about Toyotas, Hondas. Hey, use that to work your way up to an Audi or a Bentley one day. But you want to eventually, fellas, get to the finer things of life. You do, but you do it for you. You do it for your health and even for your sonic health. You don't want to be driving around in a putt-putt your whole life because it's actually affecting your metabolical structure. Like, little do you know, like, just the vibration and the harmonics of a car engine. We're just talking about cars, y'all. We're just talking about cars. That even affects your metabolical system, just what you hear, not just what people say to you and the music you listen to, but even the car that you drive affects your body. Like, so it's a lot of things like this. And so another way of putting this is how do you glow up? Okay. Increasing your glow. Because what happens when you increase your frequency, uh, therefore you'll see it, the results of that, an increased vibration. It's just going to make you glow more when you have more things incorporated in your life that are based on a certain luxury, based on a certain leisure that you've made for yourself. Okay. Made for your lifestyle. You start to get up, do things like make coffee. You start to eat a certain thing that you always like to eat. You find out how to cook that, because you understand that maybe certain places you go to, they might run out of that stuff for you to cook. I mean, for you to eat. So you even learn how to cook the stuff that you normally go buy. Like, you start to really refine certain aspects about your life. Uh, Very small little things like that. Okay. Uh, Samurais back in the days, even now in Japan, when they make a sword, and you had to learn how to use the sword, they don't teach you how to use the sword first. They teach you how to hold the sword first. Okay. So you want to understand the fundamentals of life as well before you start to get into the finer things of life. But you want to deal with those fundamentals in a very fine way, fine tune. Now, in regards to cultivating the feminine, a lot of gals have a huge problem with this when they run into a certain guy that's of high vibration that has finally become the embodiment, because they don't like the fundamentals. A lot of the feminine do not like the fundamentals. So, fellas, be leery of a gal that does not like fundamentals, which comes down to a lot of your principles and a lot of your standards that you have set. Because these are little basic things. She wants a lot from you, but she hardly is giving you anything from her. Well, there you go. That ain't gonna quite work out. You know, you shouldn't put your all in something and you get nothing back. That's what, as it's written, talks about as far as men not giving their strength to women. Okay. That means don't give all of yourself to someone. Don't give your all to her. No, you give her pieces, and she has to appreciate the little before you can do more, right? So, not to digress, but this is all part of being on a high frequency that even the feminine should recognize and appreciate, because that type of gal will be happy just having a piece of you, just honored to be in your presence. She didn't ask for you to give her presence. You see that? This live stream is for everybody that's trying to be godly, because when people see you, they automatically want to serve you. They'll open doors for you. And they'll literally open doors for you, like when you walk in a door somewhere, right? Like, and it's not because they see your amount of wealth. They see you, oh, you're rich, so we have to like bow down. No, it's not that. It's they see your amount of greatness. Heck, even a rich man will open the door for you because he sees your greatness. So I'm going somewhere with that. Okay. This is for every man. This live stream is for every man, no matter his color. But going back to the so-called black man, black boy, the young ones coming up listening to this live stream. This live stream is even more so for you. But a lot of y'all don't even realize your greatness. You too caught up on being on demon time. Come on now. But I hope that this will make you be more angelic. This live stream will. You can start to walk down a more redeeming path and start to walk in what you were actually born into, what you're more genetically made for than a lot of other people on this planet. Okay. And they even tell you that. What do they say about so-called black men, so-called black people? What do they say? They say, y'all dropped the ball. Y'all have what it takes, despite what society has thrown on you. Despite what society has thrown on you, you have what it takes. And I believe Wakanda represents that. I really believe that. Okay. And no, Wakanda was not founded in Africa. Okay. Wakanda is not an African thing. It is a North American thing. That's what Wakanda is. But hey, that's her nor there, not to digress. Wakanda. But I'm here to tell you, brothers, you young men, no matter what color you are, but especially for the so-called black folks, the black guys out there that are on demon time and you need to turn your life around. I'm here to tell you that you're greater than what you realize. Okay. And I'm saying it from a godly standpoint, not necessarily a culture standpoint, because people talk about the culture all the time, but the culture ain't as godly as it used to be. Okay. But that's another conversation because we can go off into, Kendrick versus Drake rap battle. Yeah. I mean, Kendrick, he pulled the black card. That was his trump card, was the black card when it comes to the Kendrick Drake battle. But other than that, did Kendrick really have a chance against Drake? Makes you wonder, huh? Because we could talk about the culture all day long, and this is not a shot at Kendrick either. But what is the culture? The culture ain't godly. I mean, anybody could tell you that. Yeah, because I always like to say at this channel as well, male nature is godly, female nature is ungodly. Okay. So in essence of even what's supposed to be in the most godly, the most God amongst all these men when he's not even being godly himself. Okay. You're not as much of what the creator desires you to be as you think you are. There's a certain morality that you follow. There's a certain compass. There's a certain way you carry yourself. Even when people talks about the mythic gods like Zeus and the other types of gods like Greek gods and stuff like that. People that are more into polytheism versus monotheism. There's still a certain code for the masculine side of this. Let some of y'all catch up to that later. Okay. But yeah, money don't change this stuff. Money only changes you. I say this because it goes back to people that want to aspire to be high value men. Look, if you ain't godly, that money don't do nothing. Your value means nothing if you're not godly. I'm gonna say it. Okay, because one could say, well, I didn't say who said high value men has to do with money. Okay, throw the money out. You ain't godly, your value means nothing. I said it. Now what? So you're not being godly, your blackness means nothing. Nigga. Yeah, I said it. So to all these people talking about the culture, your culture mean nothing if it ain't godly. Okay. We talk all day, especially, those that call themselves black. Oh, we could dance, we could run, we got all these gifts and talents. Don't mean nothing. The world catching up every day. They dance and they running, they doing all kind of stuff. Because you ain't godly enough to uphold the culture. Okay. To where it can be respected. Japan wants that. They want a more godly population. Y'all think, oh, it's just, they want American black men over there to replenish their population. No, they actually want a more godly population. Why didn't they say we want white men to restore our population? We want other Asiatic men to restore our population. We want African men to restore our population. Because eugenics aside, they see the Negro different than the African, and the Africans even say, y'all are nothing like us. Y'all did not come from Africa. We are not the same. We are not related. Okay, you know what? They right. Because there's something superhuman about the Negro. Okay? But y'all too busy on demon time to realize how superhuman a lot of y'all are. Some of y'all just will remain fallen angels. I said it. Okay? But Japan knows there's something superhuman about Negroes. But we got it, obviously it comes through the XY chromosome. So it goes through the man. The man, we need men here. We need to bring the men here. Like that's literally like this will go over a lot of people's heads. But that's what they thinking in Japan. Russia had a similar experiment, but they were trying to do it through apes. That's what they say on record. You can't trust all record and information, but no, that's Joseph Stalin. They were like, he wanted to make super soldiers, so he wanted the Russians to be mixed with apes. And I don't know. Some people say that some Russians to this day look like giant apes. Like I don't know what. There's a lot to that story, right? But genetically speaking, uh, there was just something about Negroes, if you will, something on a more celestial level. So yeah, I'm kind of getting off into this aspect of like even more Marvel comics and even the movie The Celestials, because a lot of guys don't realize they do have cosmic genes, but they're just behaving like a fallen angel. So he might always be that way. He might always be a demon or a wizard. You know, you got a lot of guys out here talking about being manipulative, but do you not realize that's part of the dark arts? That's part of witchcraft. So I'm just saying there's a lot of fallen angels out here. So becoming the embodiment is something very spiritual, it's something very deep. Okay. And I'm just a messenger. If y'all know what a true messenger is, yeah. Wink, wink. Like that's all I am. That's all I was put on this planet to be. Like in many ways, my whole aspect of what my life is about. It's about being a messenger. And hopefully people have seen my content being about great messages. Okay. And yeah, I've appreciated everybody's support over the years. And oh no, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. I got y'all. Like y'all got me. I appreciate it. But you got to have supernatural intelligence. It's beyond emotional intelligence. You got to have that because most people are emotionally ignorant and they will try to use that against you. So you got to be supernatural. You know, your emotional intelligence should be connected to the supernatural, not to the natural. Okay, so there's just a lot that the way you feel about things in this world is totally different from the way a lot of other people feel. Like have the heart of a child because like children actually are more supernatural than adults. Okay, like you actually as you get older, you become more immature. You are more mature when you were actually a child. But that's why, as it's written, you gotta keep the heart of a child because that will keep you more mature. And so there's a flip on that mature versus nature. The only difference is one has the letter M and one has the letter N. Keep that in mind. Okay. Most people use their nature as an excuse for why they are not being mature at that time. You see? Yeah. Like this is all will help y'all be up to speed. This is when you have finally become the embodiment. This is how you will start to talk. This is how you will start to walk. But your walk is one's run, literally, or one snap. Like when you snap, that's your walk. Okay, that's how fast this thing is. Okay, faster than a blink of an eye. That's how your walk is. You're too ahead of people. See, fellas, you don't want the gal that could keep up with you. You want the gal that will let you carry her. Yeah, you want the gal that will let you carry her, not the gal that's trying to keep up with you. You know, as you know, ride, come on through. She like, hey, pick me up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the girl you want, fellas, because she's in her feminine. Did yeah, she's definitely in her feminine. See what they did, even in the comic book world, they trying to make it to where gals are literally the equal to the guys in regards to the superheroes. Okay, like, nah, she should have more of a feminine role, like with the way it was with Lois Lane. And Clark Kent. You see what I'm saying? It should be like that. It ain't like that no more. No, they got Lois Lane being her own superhero now. You see what I'm saying? Like even Catwoman, when she showed up, she was she was still, you know, more or less she was still feminine. There was things that she would dare not do that. Yeah, you could deal with that, Batman. Go ahead on, Bruce. Oh yeah, and that's a side note. I want to also say too, because I didn't bring this up earlier. Yeah, the way it was with the first uh Green Lantern, or with yeah, with the way Green Lantern was with John Stewart, who was AKA the so-called Black Green Lantern. He actually was the first so-called Black superhero of the DC Comics, and he's one of the most successful comic book characters of the DC comic universe. So that has great implications, y'all. And by the way, Y'all want to know who made a lightsaber? Yeah, it was a so-called black guy. Yeah, yeah, it was a brother that made the lightsaber. The idea behind that, and I think the actual lightsaber itself for Star Wars. Hey, don't take my word for it. Look it up. I'm just saying. But yeah, being up to speed. Okay, based on this guy named Magnus Walker. He's a car guy. If you look him up, Magnus Walker. He's pretty cool, or as I would like to say, Macness Walker. You know, with the Mac in it versus Magnus Walker, but Macness Walker. But you know, all a magnet, if you will. You know, it's all connected magnets. It's all intertwined, right? But when he talked about getting up to speed, he said it was like the road and environment determines your speed. You see? Did you catch that? Like, that's really your life. The road and environment determines your speed. For some people, things will never change, and that's where they will be. But you have greater implications about your life if you actually got out of the environment that was holding back your speed. Okay? So I'd say this, it's about the chosen few. It's about the path that few go down, the straight and narrow path, literally. Only few people will go down this path that I'm talking about. Because most people are not up to speed to get through the straight and the narrow. Okay. Do you not realize that what the straight and narrow path symbolizes is when you're up to speed? Because as you get further down the road does look more narrow. And as you go faster, things tend to look more narrow. So straight and narrow, like the arrow, like it literally means you're getting up to speed. Okay. But the road and the environment determines your speed. So you got to think about what road you're taking down in life. And where's that road getting you, or how is it getting you to move along the way? Like when they talk about the road of life you going down, you got to think about that. Is that causing you to not be up to speed? Like these are serious questions, y'all, because that will affect how you become the embodiment if you even do. So I didn't use that thumbnail for no reason with Flash Gordon running down um that tunnel that fast. I'm gonna have to do an encore. Yes, I'm gonna do an encore. I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes, but I'm definitely gonna do an encore to this live stream. So who would have known? But this is so much to unpack about becoming the embodiment. There really is more than what you're going to hear from anybody else on YouTube. I promise you, or anywhere else on social media. Okay. Um, and I'm not here to say I'm a guru or nothing like that. I'm none of that. I'm just me. I'm here. That's it. I'm here. But yeah, with that said, like being up to speed keeps you lifted or well grounded, depending on how your dynamics are set up, y'all, aka your dynamo. You know, dynamo is just more or less the measurement of your dynamics. Okay. They talk about being fly. Well, guess what? Fly speed is my speed, you know. So hashtag that, by the way. But yeah, just like you don't know the speed, look, check this out. You don't know the speed must know you. You don't have to move the speed moves around you. That's what happens when you know that fly speed. You could say that fly speed is my speed. Okay. Like that's the true mojo. That's that true mojo. You have to remain up to the speed and run at breakneck speeds. Fellas, you got to break her neck at those speeds, given the way that she has to look at you with attraction. But it is difficult for her to keep up with you. This is what I mean by getting your Mac on, because like I said, she ain't trying to keep up with you. She wants you to be like, hey, baby, come pick me up. Hey, don't forget to pick me up, baby. I'll be waiting here. You know, just come swoop through and pick me up when you're rolling through. That breakneck speed, when you're up to speed. That's how it is. And the way you'll know, like through my personal experience, the way you know that you up to speed and you got her looking at you with breakneck speed is She see you on point. There's just certain things about you that is on point. Okay. More than anybody else, because you got to think it's literally like if you're looking at the way Flash Gordon would deal with things, if he knows how to multitask, boom, boom. It's just the way he gets things done. Like gals, they get like starstruck when they see a guy that is just knowing how to get around with his mojo. Like it throws them off like, oh wow, he really is about that. Or like, as they say, like he's staying on business, or he doing big moves, making he really got some motion out here, as they like to say now. So like I said, we talking about being up to speed. We talking about being up to speed. Nowadays they talking about you got to be in motion lately. You got to have some motion about you. Well, we talking about motion here right now at Rayology XM. All these people talking about demon time. These are all just a bunch of people dirty macking in many ways. You in the way of real progress, just like that dirty air that's in the way of that car trying to overtake the other car to pass it. You in the way of that progress of someone trying to pass you up, because that's what they finna do. So you got to get in the way of that. You got to be that dirty air. You got to be that dirty Mac. Like it's crazy because one's Mac and knack of PC has to always be on point. Going back to that being on point. Did y'all know that Mac PC, they're two different things, the Mac and the PC. The Mac is just Mac, like a Macintosh, and then you have a PC, personal computer. But in this case, of what I'm talking about in regards to the Mac and all of that, and with the PC, I'm talking about PC, not personal computer. I'm just talking about personal communication, personal connections, and versus Mac. When I say Mac, I don't talk about Mac like everybody else talk about Mac. I just talk about from the standpoint of being immaculate conception. So I talk about it from this standpoint, as I've been, doing ever since I've started talking about such things here at this channel. But I rarely get into it because, like I said, I'm in rarefied air. Okay, literally, I'm in rarefied air, and it ain't dirty air over here either. But it's rarefied. Like this is rare form right now. Like, so peep it, real talk, peep it, as I'm trying to help y'all peep game. Okay, because in it all, I talk from a place I've already been. I've already been to the moon and back. I'm the astronaut. I've already been to the moon and back, beyond the moon too. Hence why I sometimes say to infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear, well, over here, Buzz Mac year. Okay. But more specifically, to infinity and rayon, Ray, get it? So, and on that note, hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others. But to the others that this live made sense to, make sure that you hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. And if this is your first time coming to this channel, you like my type of content, definitely know that there's more in store. So make sure that you subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content. Just go into my archives, go into my playlist. You'll see that it consists of different topics out there. So yeah, check all that out. Make sure that you hit that notification bell, especially for those new to this channel, so that you get all my content in real time. Yes, I know with my live streams, I'll reschedule a lot, but like I said earlier, when you're getting up to speed, you got to make a lot of adjustments along the way. You got to recalibrate some things, right? And that's all we doing over here. So yeah, because I be in other places and spaces on that spaceship. I'm just talking to y'all down to earth, while down to earth from the mothership, right? And yes, there definitely will be an encore to this live stream because I wasn't done, but I like to keep my live streams within an hour mark. Okay. got to do that because I know y'all got lives y'all live, and I know y'all got things to do, and so I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. Much love to all of y'all, every single one of y'all. And no matter what it looks like out there, even in a land where there's still this sprinkle and drizzle going on, it's only going to get better from here, because becoming that embodiment, fellas, it's going to require her to be attracted to you by default. So ladies, it's your fault for not being attracted to him. Yes, I said it. All right. Now I'm going to go back to this mothership. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Thanks a million for stopping by. Blasting off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.